A fantastic joke about violating Star Trek canon with reference to Romulans was told in Season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Episode 8. Written by Dana Horgan and Henry Alonso Myers and directed by Jordan Canning, 4.5 Vulcans, the 8th episode of Season 3 of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, is another funny Vulcan farce that also subtly alludes to the Romulans. Nurse Christine Chapel, Ensign Nyota Uhura, Lieutenant La'an Noonien Singh, and Captain Christopher Pike are all genetically changed into Vulcans. In contrast, Pike and La'an present distinct threats to the Starship Enterprise in 4.5 Vulcans. The crew of the USS Enterprise and Captain Marie Battelle, his girlfriend, suffer because of Captain Pike's logical efficiency because he is a Vulcan. La'an, however, becomes evil like her ancestor Khan Noonien Singh, Ricardo Montalban, when her Vulcan DNA unlocks her innate augment genetics. However, when Captain Pike and La'an meet, they both lament certain elements of Vulcan history, which allows Star Trek, Strange New Worlds to humorously address their shared secret that they both know more about Romulans than they can express. In Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 Episode 8, Vulcan Captain Pike spots Vulcan La'an close to one of the Starship Enterprise's Jefferies tubes and suspects that La'an is acting differently than any Vulcan he has ever seen. La'an acknowledges that she has her own secret regarding Vulcan history that she cannot disclose, while Pike makes references to certain elements of Vulcan history that he is not allowed to discuss. Time travel is a theme in both La'an's and Pike's secret stories, and the two Vulcans simultaneously raised their eyebrows and shouted out "Romulans" in a funny way. The existence of Romulans in the 23rd century of Star Trek is known to Starfleet. According to Star Trek, the original series, primitive atomic weapons were used in the 22nd century Earth-Romulan War. According to theory, no human should have ever seen what a Romulan looks like until the iconic episode Balance of Terror from Season 1 of Star Trek, the original series. A Romulan commander, Mark Leonard, is first seen by Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, and the crew of the USS Enterprise more than 5 years after the events of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, and they discover they are Vulcan offspring. The "no human has seen a Romulan" canon from Star Trek the original series was skirted by Star Trek Enterprise. The presence of Romulans was revealed to Captain Jonathan Archer, Scott Bakula, in the 22nd century prelude to the Star Wars. In Star Trek Enterprise Season 4, Todd Stashwick also portrayed Talek, a Romulan deep-cover agent who pretended to be a Vulcan. In A Quality of Mercy, the Season 1 finale of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, Captain Christopher Pike discovered the truth about Romulans. In Strange New Worlds' adaptation of Balance of Terror, from Star Trek the original series, Pike's doppelganger transported him to a different reality in which Chris was still the Enterprise's captain and had never been disfigured. With the assistance of USS Farragut Captain James T. Kirk, Captain Pike fought a new Romulan bird of prey equipped with a cloaking system and a destructive plasma cannon. Although Pike's version of Balance of Terror had a completely different ending from Captain Kirk's in TOS, Pike was able to see his Romulan opponent's true nature. Captain Pike kept his secret that he knows what the Romulans look like ever since, as part of an overall redaction of his experience in the alternate reality future where the United Federation of Planets was mired in a forever war with the Romulans. In Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, Lieutenant La'an Noonien Singh confronted a Romulan. La'an time travels to Toronto in the 21st century with an alternate reality version of Captain James T. Kirk after being assigned by a Starfleet temporal agent to fix Star Trek's damaged Prime timeline. A Romulan agent named Sarah, Adelaide Kane, informs La'an and Captain Kirk that a string of terrorist attacks on Toronto are acts of temporal war. After being forced to change her plans, Sarah attempts to kill Khan Noonien Singh, a little youngster in Toronto in the 21st century. Sarah kills Kirk, but La'an saves Khan. La'an kills the Romulan in retaliation. After the chronology is reset and La'an returns to the Starship Enterprise, Starfleet's temporal investigations orders her to keep her mission in 21st century Toronto a secret. The Enterprise's security chief fulfilled her word regarding Romulans, but La'an broke that commitment by providing Lieutenant James T. Kirk with some information during the musical episode of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. In Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, both Captain Pike and Lieutenant La'an Noonien Singh are aware of the true appearance of Romulans. Unless they are Vulcans momentarily blurting their common knowledge to one another in the witty joke, 4.5 Vulcans, they are honor-bound to keep it a secret. Thank you for watching.